Hey guys, welcome back to StabilityWOD. I'm reminded in my practice every day of why people get hurt when they're playing sports, whether it's CrossFit, cycling, running, tennis, you name it. There are some really common patterns that I see very often. Some of them are super obvious and some of them are a little more insidious. And I want to talk about one common insidious movement fault that causes a lot of problems in the shoulders and downstream into the elbows and hands. You guys, the neck is a lot like the low back. It likes to function in neutral, and anytime we come out of neutral, we put our neck, our vertebrae, our discs, our nerve roots, our facet joints at risk for injury. This can cause nerve compression, this can cause inflammation in the neck, this can cause numbness and tingling down the arm, it can cause shoulder muscle shutdown, lead to shoulder pain, elbow tendonitis, wrist pain, finger strains. The neck is in charge of everything that happens downstream, and I've talked about this in the past, but what I want to talk about today is the concept of the core cylinder of the neck and how important it is that we train these muscles first to work in neutral and work efficiently in neutral before we start to do things outside of neutral. Now, this posture is where a lot of us spend our time. This results in the muscles in the front of the neck being very long. It's called longus coli, these deep muscles. I like to think of them as the abdominals of the neck. These muscles in the back of the neck, as a result, get very short, and they get tight, and they get compressed, and they force us into this hyper-extended position where our neck is curved back like this. Correcting that looks like this. This takes my longus coli, the muscles in the front of my neck, shortens them up. These are the abdominals of the neck that support my cervical curvature like this. It takes the muscles in the back of my neck and lengthens them out as if I was being pulled from a string from the back of my head. So I get decompression in the back, I get shortening stability in the front, and that's where I want to function most of the time. Now, I saw a client today who I asked him to do a good morning, and the first thing he did was, the bar behind his back, the first thing he did was this. So from the waist down, and even in his lumbar spine, he was moving pretty well, but in his neck, he had this movement fault where he went from neutral to extension. And when you get under heavy load, that's going to really cause problems for any athlete. Our cerebellum tends to want to keep our eyes level with the horizon. We have a vestibulo-ocular reflex, which wants to stabilize our eyes and keep them looking ahead. In CrossFit and in other sports, we need to sometimes cancel out that reflex so that our eyes can either follow our head or at least change position to orient with where our body's moving. In the case of a good morning, that looks like this. As I go down, my eyes now face the floor. As I come back up, I'm looking at the wall. I go down, they face the floor. And as I come back up, you can see my neck position stays neutral that entire time. And in keeping my neck neutral, I'm at much less risk for my neck having problems. I'm at much less risk for my shoulder, elbow, and hands becoming injured over time. And this notion of my neck staying neutral carries over to so many different movements, including push-ups, pull-ups, whether you do them kipping or strict, GHD sit-ups, where the fall could come at the bottom or the top of the sit-up, deadlifts, and really any movement where you're pulling from the floor, back squats or other squatting variations, including front squats, as well as handstands. So if you're having problems with any of these areas, anywhere from your neck and upper back to your shoulder blades, to your shoulders, elbows, and hands, I want you to take this very seriously in your training. Take video of yourself to see what's actually happening during your movement. Ask your friends to watch you. But know that the more you can spend time in neutral, the stronger you're going to be, the better you're going to perform, the less you're going to be at risk for injury. So click the like button if you liked what you saw today. Leave me some comments in the box below. Take a second to subscribe, and I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow.